Call the meeting to order of the Public Safety Committee for the Common Council of the City of Hudson on Thursday, August 6, 2015. Roll call.
Alderperson Hall.
Here.
Alderperson Morset.
Here.
Alderperson Weber.
Here.
All right, number 2, discussion and possible action on the minutes of July 16th. Any corrections or revisions?
Nope, I'll make a move to accept. Do I have to do that?
Moves,
Motion
you
to...
make a motion.
Yeah, motion. Make a motion to accept them.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion or changes? No? Seeing none, all in favor? Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Number 3, parking. 3I, discussion, possible action to install no parking signage on Pinewood Lane. Chief Jensen.
For some reason, I'm not showing the attachment, but there was a letter from Mr. Gary Huschchild, who lives up on Pinewood Lane up there. Says that they're having a problem with parking, with vehicles parking, blocking the trash cans, blocking the mailboxes, people having issues getting their mail and so forth and trash picked up. His recommendation was to have parking restricted on one side of the street. I told him that I would bring it forward to this committee. I don't think that's a bad idea. I'm not sure if this was discussed at all at Public Works when they were doing some of their routes for snow plowing. It'd be a tight street. I'm not sure if you want to recommend this go to Public Works as well.
You think there's a need up there? I was asking Melanie earlier, I thought we did this before up there, a couple months back.
We did Aspen Drive. We did not do Pinewood Lane. Aspen Drive has got one side parking all the way down. But that was about 2 or 3 years ago, I want to say. And Aspen Drive has restricted parking on one side of the street.
Okay. Any thoughts?
Just drove through there, and it is pretty narrow.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is limited to one side of the street. The trash cans were all on one side, and the postal stations are on one side. It wasn't bad at that time of day, at 4 o'clock, but I have no idea what it's like at any other time.
Yeah, I drove through it about 2 o'clock this afternoon, and same thing. It's narrow. I noticed that there's a lot of yellow paint on the curbs so that there's limited parking in some spots. But in front of the mailboxes, there isn't the yellow paint, so maybe some yellow paint in front of the mailboxes so that those could be better accessed.
Well, the problem with the yellow paint is that when the snow comes, then
Oh, you
the
can't see
curbs
it.
all, that's
Okay.
why the signage would
So
be
you need
better.
signs.
And I would recommend that we put the signage on the same side as the mailboxes.
Sign this, where are we pushing these folks?
Well, I would imagine it'd be on the opposite side of the street. I'm trying to think of what side of the street that the mailboxes are on.
On the south side.
South side.
South side.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we'd be pushing them onto the north side of that street.
Is there enough room for any overflow, or if we take them off
Well,
one side?
it's a lot of apartment complexes up there. A lot of those apartment complexes do have parking and garage space. But a lot of people like to park on the streets. But again,
All those units on that street have garages and driveways. That looks, well, they could get 6 cars there if they, in my estimation. What do the residents have to say about this? Do we have any?
This is the only correspondence I have had.
And I did have a face-to-face with this gentleman prior to it, and I told him to write a letter to the committee. He said that a couple of the other owners had the same type problems, that it's narrow streets, so you have a lot of kids up there, the garbage, the mailboxes and so forth, so their recommendation was to make parking restricted to one side of the street, so.
Because we're a safety committee, we're not necessarily concerned about mail or garbage, we would be concerned about children.
Right. Correct. That's why the other recommendation would be to forward this on to the Public Works Department to make sure that there's no issues up there that they foresee, especially with snow plowing and clearing of the streets.
I don't have a problem with that. What's your folks' pleasure?
Well, that might be a good suggestion forward to the Public Works, and with our recommendation that, we think this is a good idea to,
And safety and concerns.
right. We don't have a set of guidelines about no parking like we do with that you provided with the street signs.
No,
and
not with the
stop
yield
signs.
and stop sign, no, we don't have that requirement. No parking is basically how if we believe that it's in the best interest of the city and the residents there, that be restricted, then we can make those determinations.
Just one thing we have to watch is if we start doing it, then we start pushing these cars out everywhere, and then we're just gonna continue to do it. And we don't wanna
Again,
get
this
into
is-
that habit.
This is a relatively small street that goes through on the other side. A lot of apartments, they have a lot of kids running through that area, so.
So what I'm hearing is you wanna make a motion to recommend the Public Works to review it and send it back up to council,
So move.
okay? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Recommended to Public Works. Number 4, discussion possible action to install stop or yield signage on 4th Street and Division Street.
As you can see from my issue sheet, Ms. Mayor got a hold of me in regards to that T intersection at 4th at Division. She's concerned about traffic going through there since none of the street at that intersection are controlled. 4th tees into Division Street. As you can see from our survey data since 1999, I think we've had 4 accidents near that location. But, it hasn't had a large history of accidents at that location. My only recommendation would be is if you were considering to putting a sign in there, I would recommend a yield sign at that location. I do not think it needs a stop sign.
Yeah, I'd be okay with the yield, but nothing more.
Yeah, I think when you've got that hill heading west.
Right,
when you're
Division Street coming up.
Coming up
correct.
that hill,
Right.
probably fairly fast, and perhaps not.
And it can be. Like I said, 4th Street tees into that intersection, and so the best place would be put it on 4th Street so people have to at least slow down and take a look before they pull out, so.
At the risk of propagating this, are the other streets that tee into there the same situation?
No, 5th Street doesn't have, I'm not quite sure what 5th Street has, if they have a stop sign at the bottom or not. I want to say no, because
I don't think so.
they have a kind of a clearer view right there. I think 4th Street's a little bit unique with that hill coming up, and then 6th Street curves at the bottom of Division Street. Division basically ends there at 6th.
Okay,
So,
so we're not creating a monster here.
no, I don't believe
Okay.
so.
Any further discussion?
I move that we recommend a yield sign be installed on 4th Street.
I'll second that.
And seeing no other discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We'll recommend a yield sign to council. Number 5, discussion, possible action to conduct St. Pat's Fall Fest 5K Fun Run Walk on Saturday, September 19th, 2015 at 9 a.m. beginning and ending at the Hudson High School.
This is the 8th year for the Fun Fest 5K. We've had no issues with it. There's been no accidents that I'm aware of, no reports of any issues. It's worked out very well. They keep, the majority, it's on the walking paths or the walking areas on the side of the roadway, so it doesn't divert traffic at all. It does really well. They got the controlled intersection there. By this time, Wisconsin Street should be completed. So I don't see any issues and would recommend it be approved.
I'll move we recommend approval.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Seeing none? Recommend approval. Number 6, we'll go to department updates, and we'll start with fire.
I think as a lot of you know, last week we had lost one of our Explorers in a plane crash. He's with for a couple years. He was the post president of the Explorers Post. A while ago, Riverfront was in and they were going to do a run for when the money was going to go towards the fire department, and I talked to them. We are going to change that now, and all funds are going to go to the Explorer Post in Matt's name. So we kind of changed that, so we're kind of changing gears a little bit there. They're self-funded, so they can obviously use the money, and we thought it'd be a good gesture. So
Very nice.
that's changed up a little bit. We're working on the specs for the rig. We're getting close. We're also working with Catherine on the buying process. And I guess that's probably about it.
When do you anticipate delivery on that? You're just on specs now? You're not gonna see it till next summer?
Probably eight months, probably the quickest, 8 to 9 months.
Isn't that frustrating when you spend that amount of money and you can't play with it right away? It's like when you go buy furniture, you want it home right away. You gotta wait
Yeah,
till
it'd
it's
be nice,
delivered.
but they don't have a lot of them. They really don't have them stock.
Yeah.
So, and if they do, they have a few out there, but it's nothing that we can utilize, so. It'd be nice if they'd do it quicker, but maybe you can make a phone call or something, make it
Yeah, I'll
happen.
drop a dime. I'll tell them who I am, huh?
Other than that, I know one of the discussions in the past have been inspections. We're on track at this point to hopefully get them done by the end of the year. So we're doing, Mike Pruka's doing it, and John Wallers is helping intermittently, but Mike is caught on and he's doing well, so.
Catching up then, so our
Yep,
state rate is, we should be
we're,
fine.
that's what we're hoping.
Planning.
Yeah. Everything else is running right? Nothing, no big major capital issues?
Not that we're aware of.
That's good. Right? Okay. Anything else? Any questions for him? How's your call volume? Up, down?
We're actually, we're down a little bit, which is good.
Yeah.
So we'll see about, next year when we're doing budgeting, we'll kind of readjust to look at the 3 to 4 year average. We had a spike a couple years ago with a big storm. I think they had one day they had about 40 or 50. Other than that, if you took that out of the picture, I think we've been very consistent of up a few or down a few, so.
Good. You're doing a great job. Thank you for your leadership over there.
Thank you.
Chief Jensen?
This past Tuesday, we had National Night Out. It was our second year down at Lakefront Park. Again, another huge success. We estimated probably about 400 people that we had there. We had over 20 vendors that were there showing off their wares, anything to do with public safety or some of the local nonprofit organizations that were there. We had a one-man band that was there. He was playing music, did a good job. We had our K-9 demonstration, which is always successful. And we had an intern that volunteered to take a ride on the Lightning, or for a taser demonstration, as we like to call it. So that was very, very well done. We raised about $1,400. $368 of it came out of the dunk tank, and I felt I probably earned about $200 of that, because I think people were throwing at me left and right. So it was a success. I want to give credit to Tracy Hall, Detective Hall. She did a fantastic job. She puts this together. She puts a lot of time and effort into it. And what made it, I think, worse for her is the fact is she put all that work on a Monday night, or Monday night. She got called out to New Richmond to go help with that perimeter, and she was there until 7 o'clock in the morning, and then came into work at 9 o'clock and was there until 9 o'clock at night. So she had almost no sleep for 2 days. So she did a fantastic job. I got to give credit to her for doing that. So that worked out very well.
Give her an attaboy for
Yep,
us.
will.
Might,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
go ahead. Might add that James Wildman was at our bike rodeo that we participated in, and he did an excellent job. He went through the bike safety course himself, and just so he knew what was going on and what we were trying to teach. So
He said he had a good time. He said his family was there too, and they had a
Yes.
really good time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well,
it worked out very well. So
his daughter, oldest daughter, ended up winning the bicycle.
the bicycle.
Yeah. So.
Good for her. That worked out well. Other thing is we have our last officer that's on field training is going through a shadowing phase here this week. So hopefully in the next couple of days he'll be out on his own. So that'll help our schedule a lot. So we won't have a two-man car going around, so.
Officer Jensen?
Officer, who?
Jensen
No, that's Officer Pearson that's going through it right now.
Pearson, okay.
Yeah. The last one was Officer Corus. He's been off it now for about a month.
That's Jensen.
You thinking of Dan Gents?
Yeah, yeah.
Dan's been with us now coming up on 5 years.
Holy moly.
So, yeah,
Oops.
yeah. So, but we've put on 4 new officers in the last year and a half.
Wow.
So we've had a turnover, and
Where are we numbers wise?
currently, right now, including myself, we're back up to 23, which was what we were at before we had the reductions. We just have one, I consider one open spot still left. That's at my second in command, that lieutenant position. So we ended up filling the 23rd with the school resource
It
officer.
is budget time, so now it's
Right.
time for us to meet and
Right, we're going to
talk
be,
about it.
Devin just gave us our budget stuff this week, so we'll start working on that, and I should hopefully have my budget to present to public safety at the next meeting.
Put your
So,
want and need list together.
Yep. We were given general parameters of how much we can increase our operational portion of the budget by, so I'll have that put together. That shouldn't take very long. So, and that's all I got.
Very good. Any items for future agendas from either committee members or chiefs?
Well, just one, I did send all 3 of you an email from that gentleman regarding the fence at 903 Vine Street.
Yes.
The reason I sent that to you is I wanted to know how the committee would like to handle that. Would you like to see it come here? Would you like to see it to go Public Works? The fence, with the little research that I've done with David Gray, it's got a permit, it's within code. So I'm not sure how we want to handle that situation, if it needs to be a code change or something. But I don't know if you want me to do a lot more research and bring that back to the next meeting, or if you want me to bring it
Why
forward to
don't-
Public Works.
Why don't you bring it back? He's bringing it up under a premise of safety. I'm not sure we would do anything because he is within his right,
Right.
from what it sounded like. What's your pleasure, folks? If, without talking about it, do you want to bring it back and talk about it?
Well, what's your recommendation?
I'm just not sure what committee it would go to. Obviously, it came to me in an email as a safety concern because
Then put it on
the
our
person,
agenda.
lost control when they hit it with their bike. But again, it would be a code change, and I'm not sure if that would have to go to Planning Commission, or if it would have to go to Public Works or the council as a whole, so.
I guess it can start here, I suppose, and
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Start.
All right, I'll make sure I bring that back next month then.
We will be a conduit. If there's no other items for the future agendas, then any announcements, information?
Just to kind of reiterate, the September 12th is the run down at Riverfront. So people feel free to sign. It's a run and walk, so if anyone interested, you can contact them and sign up.
Good. Yeah, it's a great thing you guys are doing. All right. I'll move to adjourn.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you, folks.